Good morning 10A. Today is October 5, 2020. This is the math lesson and we're going to correct the homework. Page 36, number 6, 8 and 9. Starting with 6, we need to solve. So we need to find the value or solve for x, which is find the value of x. We take x's on one side and the numbers on the other. So 2x minus x is equal to 9 minus 4. Evaluating or collecting like terms, it's 2 minus 1 is x, which is equal to 9 minus 4, which is 5. So this value for x, if you replace it in the equation, the left side would be equal to the right side. Therefore 5x equals 5 satisfies the equation. This is what we mean by solving for the variable x, where 5 is the only value that when you replace it in the equation it will satisfy it. Part B, we take the 5 to the 5x to 7x because 5x is less than 7x, because we would like to have a positive coefficient. That doesn't mean that if you take 7 to the other side where 5 is, that the answer will be wrong. It will be right, but you will have a negative coefficient for x, where you're going to divide with a negative coefficient. It doesn't matter, this would be fine, but we have to pay attention to divide with the minus and not to leave the minus behind. So this is why to have a safer, this is a safer method to lower the risk of probability of making a calculation mistake. We try to always take the smaller to the bigger number. So 3 plus 5 is equal to 7 minus 5, 7x minus 5x. So 8 is equal to 2x, therefore we divide 8 by 2 to get 4. So this is the answer for the value for x that will satisfy the equation. Starting with part C. So x minus 5 plus 25 is equal to 3x minus x. So 20 is equal to 2x, therefore x is equal to 20 over x, which is equal to 10. And the last part, which is D, you take 9 to the other side, 9x to the other side, so it's 11x minus 9x, which is equal to minus 11 plus 7. Evaluating, and you're going to get 2x equals to minus 4, so x is equal to minus 4 over 2, which is equal to minus 9. Number 8, I'm going to do 8 here. In number 8, we have to expand first. So expanding means you have to multiply the term which is outside, or the number which is outside the bracket, with everything that's inside. So here we would have 6x plus 10. And here be careful, there's a minus 3 outside, so we multiply with minus 3 the terms inside. So it's minus 3x plus 6. Collecting like terms, we're going to have 3x and we add plus 10 and plus 6, so it's plus 16. Part B, use the answer to part A to solve the following equation. Therefore, without redoing the expansion for this part, you already done it in part A. You place the answer that you got and you write it equal to 25, and then you solve. So you take 16 to the other side with the number 25. So it's 3x equals to 25 minus 16. So x is equal to 9 over 3. You are dividing by 3. Therefore, the answer is 3. Number 9, solve these equations. We start by expanding, and it's going to be 6x minus 2 plus 5x plus 15 equals to 24. x's on one side, or collecting first, so collecting and having x's on one side, numbers on the other, you're going to have 11x plus 13, because minus 2 and plus 15 is plus 13 equals to 24. So 11x is equal to 24 minus 13, because you need to take this to the other side in order for you to solve for x. Then you divide by 11 the value, so 11 over 11 is 1, so x is equal to 1. Part B, we multiply 2 times x and then 2 times minus 1, then minus 1, here we have an invisible 1, so minus 1 times 3, then minus 1 times minus 4, keeping in mind that minus times minus is plus, therefore this is why we have a plus 4 here. Collecting like terms, 2x minus 3x is minus x, and minus 2 plus 4 is plus 2, which is equal to 3. You take the 2 to the other side, or you subtract 2 from both sides, you're going to get a minus x equals to 3 minus 2, which is equal to 1 over minus 1. Be careful when you're dividing, you have to divide with all of the coefficient including the minus, which is equal to minus 1. Now we're going to continue correcting the homework, page 37, number 15, column A. We have two fractions, and these fractions have an equal between them, therefore we can cross multiply in order for us to solve for B. So when you cross multiply, you're going to have 4 times 4b minus 4, so you have to write b minus 4 in brackets because they are all together as numerator, which is equal to 2 times b plus 1. Expanding, you're going to get 4b minus 16 equals to 2b plus 2. Then taking b on one side and the numbers on the other, you're going to have 2b equals to 18, because you take 16 to the other, minus 16 to the other side, you're going to get 2 plus 16, which is equal to 18. Therefore b is equal to 18 over 2, which is equal to 9. So if you place 9 instead of b in equation part A, you're going to get the right hand side equals to the left hand side, and they are equal. It means that 9 satisfies the equation. D, also we have a fraction and it is equal to a number. This number you can change it to a fraction by writing the invisible 1 under it. So now you have two fractions and you can cross multiply. Therefore it's 5 times 3x plus 1 equals to 2. Expanding and then finding the value of x, so x would be equal to minus 1 over 5. Why do we have this as the final answer? Because 3 and 15, they have a common divisor therefore you have to reduce it. So divide by 3 the numerator and divide by 3 the denominator, and you will get the reduced answer for x. In part 16, find the size of the smallest angle in the triangle. So if you look at the shortest side, the angle opposite to it would be the smallest angle. Therefore in a triangle, when they say that they want you to find the smallest angle, you have to look for the shortest side. Now in order to find the value, they want the value or the size of the angle, therefore we have to solve for x. We know that the sum of angles in a triangle is equal to 180 degrees. Therefore, this is given 90-degree angle. This angle is given by 11x plus 20 over 4. And this angle is given by 3x over 2. So you add them up all together, they will give you 180. And now you start solving. Solving for x, you take x's on one side, numbers on the other. Therefore, you take the 90 to 180. 180 minus 90 is 90. And then you keep the x's on one side. Having common denominator, trying to find the LCM for 2 and 4. 4 is the common denominator or the least common multiple. What did we do to 2 to make it 4? We multiplied it by 2. So whatever you do to the denominator of the fraction, you have to do, or you have to work with the numerator. So here we multiplied by 2 the denominator, so you have to multiply by 2 the numerator, so that nothing will change with respect to the value of the fraction. Therefore, it's 6x plus the same numerator here because we have the same denominator, it's 4 and 4. So we multiplied this denominator by 1 to keep it 4. Therefore, you multiply also the numerator by 1. Therefore, this is why we didn't change anything to the numerator. Then we collect the like terms. So it's 17x plus 20 equals to 360 because we cross multiplied, making 90 over 1. We have two fractions with an equal between them, therefore you can cross multiply, and taking 20 to the other side, it's going to be 17x equals to 360 degrees minus 20. Then we divide by 17 and the answer is going to be 20. You have to give the reduced answer, so you don't keep it as a fraction when you can reduce more. So 340 divided by 17 is equal to 20 degrees. Now this is not the final answer because they want us to find the size of the angle. They don't want us to find x. So you continue and you replace x or the value of x in the form of the smallest angle, and the expression of the smallest angle is 3x over 2. So instead of x you replace it by 20 and then you multiply, divide, and you get the answer. Or you simplify. By 2 is 1, by 2 is 10, and 10 times 3 is 30. So the smallest angle has the value 30 degrees. Now finished correcting the homework, I'm going to explain a small topic in order for you to do the homework. So if we open page 38 and we start with key point 7, we've moved to topic or to lesson 2.4, which talks about formulae. And page 38, key point 7, talks about the definition of an expression. So when we say we have an expression, it means it contains letter and or number terms, but no equal signs. If we want to define equation, an equation has an equal sign, letter terms, and numbers, and you can solve it to find the value of the letter or of the variable. And in this case the variable is x, and we have just finished solving the homework and we were solving equations, as you know. An identity is true for all values of the letters. So an identity is when you have the same, or the expression to the right hand side is equal to the expression of the left hand side. So when you look at 4x over 2 and you solve it, it's going to be identical to x. Same thing for this part. When you expand, it's identical to x squared plus xy times x squared plus xy. A formula has an equal sign, but it's not an equation. A formula has an equal sign and letters to represent different quantities. So when you are going to work with a formula, you are going to have many variables in it, and they are asking you, sometimes they will ask you to find the value for, let's say, a, which is the variable in this equation, and they would give you r. So let us check, or let me give you another example. If we want the area of triangle, it's a equals to base times height over 2, which means that if they give you the base and give you the height, the value of the base and the value of the height, you are going to find the value for the area of this triangle. So we call this a formula, although it has an equal, but we call it a formula. So the letters are variables as their values can vary. Now I'm going to give you an example to that. Let's start with classwork number 4. So write whether each of these is an expression, an equation, an identity, or a formula. So in the first part, this is a formula because it has several variables, although it has an equal in it, but it's not an equation. In part B, you can see that you only have one variable and there's an equal there, therefore this is an equation. In part C, it's a 2 times v, which is an expression. In part D, if you multiply or if you expand 2 inside, it's going to be the same as 2x plus 2y. Therefore, this is an identity. So I've given you an example on each of these expressions. Therefore, you have an idea now on what's the difference between expression, equation, identity, and formula. In number 5, classwork number 5, this is a formula because it has more than one variable, and they want you to work out the value of q. So they gave you in part AP and they want you to find q. So you use this formula in order for you to find q. So this is equal to 2 times 10 cubed, which is equal, so q is equal to 10 cubed, so it's 3 zeros, times 2. So it's 20003. So it's 2000, the value for q. Part B, you do the same. And instead of 10, you write -1. And -1 multiplied by itself 3 times, it stays minus. So it's 2 times -1, keeping in mind that 1, when you multiply it by itself infinite number of times, it stays 1. We only have to worry about the sign, and when we have a sign which is minus to an odd exponent, it stays negative. Therefore, this is equal to -2. This is going to be your lesson. Wait, I still have part 11. Change the subject of each formula to the letter given in the brackets. So here we have to change in part A, we have to change the subject from V to A. So we need to have the final answer as A equal to something. So first we need to look at A and what's next to A. So I have A times T. So I keep A times T and take everything else to the other side. So it's going to become V minus U. Now, A is multiplied with T. Therefore, when I want to get rid of t, I need to divide by t. So if I divide both sides by t, I'm going to get the final answer as a equals v minus u over t. Therefore, I've changed the subject of the equation from v equals to something to a equals to something, and this is what they want us to do. So this method is called changing the subject of the formula. I'm going to take another, so we've done this. I'm going to take another example. Let us take example B. E equals to m minus 2n, and they want n to be the subject. So first I take m to the other side. It was addition, it becomes subtraction. So this is part A, this is part B. So E minus m is equal to minus 2n. Now I need to get rid of the minus 2 because I need n alone to be the subject. I divide both sides by 2, and the answer is by minus 2, and the answer is n equals e minus m over minus 2. You can keep it like this, and this is right, but I prefer that to have the denominator positive. When I can change it, I change it. Therefore, I take the minus up here, so it's going to be n equals minus e plus n m over 2. I've posted, by that I've ended the session today. I have posted the homework on Google Classroom. I'm going to expect that all of you are going to turn in their homework and upload it, and hopefully I'm going to see you on Zoom tomorrow. Take care and have a nice afternoon.